Well, I made it. This is only the second time I've used StreamYard, so I wasn't quite sure. It took me a while to get in. The first time I used it was, like 6 weeks ago. So I'll just wait and see if anybody pops in and says hello. And then I'm still going to build the grid because you guys can always watch the video later. So this was really a last minute thing. I wasn't expecting to do this. I just kind of at 4 o'clock said, geez, I think I'll build a grid for peace, and I'll do it on YouTube. So here we are. Oh, my tea is hot. So come on in, say hello. I don't know if there's anything else I'm supposed to punch here to see. Oh, somebody's here with me. Yay, we did. I got it right. Funny. Yeah, thanks for saying hi, because I wasn't sure. I think I knew I was live, but anyway, I just decided, I think there's a lot of stress right now. Kicking off my shoes. There's a lot of stress right now in the world, and it occurred to me years ago. There was stuff going on when we were in Saratoga, and I built a really big grid in the store. Built it for peace. Hi, Joey. Joey, I think you're a mod. I'm not sure. I don't see a wrench, though, so I guess I don't know how to do that. I thought I did it last time. So, Hat Trick Farm is my sister, Joey. Hi, Liz. So anyway, I built a grid for world peace in the Saratoga store quite a few years ago. And I just did it one day. Some young ladies came in and they wanted to know about building grids and wanted me to help them build one. So we ended up building, quite a hefty grid for peace. And it was so powerful that we were if you remember, that store is very long, and we were in the way back where the singing bowls used to be. And then two of my employees were way down front working on the display window, and they could feel the energy of that grid from there. And then people started reaching out to me and saying, wow, I heard you built a really powerful grid for peace in the store. So I remembered that the other day, and it occurred to me that, there's so much going on in the world that it might be nice for me to show you kind of how this grid that I did today is created, and the components of it, and why I chose what I chose. And this one is more geared for personal use, for peace and tranquility. But I did add, it got big. I kept adding things as I went. And then I set it aside, and then I'm going to rebuild it so I can show you each step of the way what I did and why I did it. But you could put this grid in your bedroom if you chose to, or you can put it in your home. You can create your own. This is quite an extensive grid here. So, it would get pretty spendy, if I sold it, if I were to sell it. But I did price it because somebody may be curious what that cost. But it's a grid that's made with some points and some tumbled stones and like that. So first, I wanted to talk about building grids and why we use grids, why they're effective. So I'm just winging this, guys. So as working with your crystals is all about setting intention. So you set your intention, and in this case, I wanted a grid for peace and tranquility so we can relieve a little stress. And I lost my train of thought because I'm trying to read the chat here. So you set your intention, and then you align crystals to go along with that intention. And in doing so, you're sort of building this energetic volume around you, which will enhance and magnify the intentions that you're setting. So the intentions are really important. And when you're building a grid, I like to recommend that you get really clear about what you want to build the grid for. And then even sometimes it's really helpful to write it all down. Just write down your intention. And then be in a really safe, quiet space so that you can focus. Building a grid in the middle of chaos while you're making dinner is not going to be as easy and maybe not as effective. So see if you can grab some space all to yourself, maybe write in a journal a little bit or run a piece of paper that you can put under the grid that holds your intention. And then choose your crystals. And I'll show you how to set intentions as we build this grid. And I'm going to show you how to build it, or how I built this one. This is just a grid I put together intuitively. It changed many times as I was building it. And it's kind of a complicated one in a way, but you can build a grid with one centerpiece and 4 tumble stones, literally. They don't have to be extensive. They don't have to be fancy. They just have to hold your intention and be in alignment. The crystals need to be in alignment with what you're choosing to do. So having said that, what else can I tell you? Ask questions. This is different from the, hey, Steph. No, I finally decided that I'm going to, this is just for the moment. I just was like, I want to build a grid. I want to show people how I go about building a grid. And I keep talking about doing something on YouTube, and it just seemed like the right time. Seemed like the right time for me. So anyway, I'm glad you found us, Steph. So, so setting your intention, being in alignment with that intention, finding crystals that support that intention. And if you don't know, there's always the internet. Like if you went out and Googled crystals for peace and tranquility, you're going to find a million sites. Well, maybe not a million, but you'll find a lot of sites that will have a lot of information about what crystals align with that. One of the things I like to do when I'm building a grid is to make sure that I'm grounding it too. So in this case, you'll see that I have amethyst. I don't really have amethyst, I have ametrine. And then I have selenite, which is all very uplifting. And I chose the ametrine because it has the citrine properties for manifestation. So, but then at the end, I wanted to ground it and make sure that it was holding its own space as well. So I'm going to turn the camera. Please ask questions, but I'm going to turn the camera, show you the grid as it's sitting. The other thing I wanted to touch on, and I'll probably touch on a lot of this stuff as we go because I am just winging this. But I'm building this on one of those etched grids. Here, maybe I should flip this camera. Oh my God, how do I flip the camera? I ran into this problem last time. I found it eventually, flipping the camera. Let's see. Oh my goodness, if I can't flip this, we're gonna be in trouble. Let's see. I'm not finding it yet. Just bear with me. I got it last time. I just don't see that little flippy thing. I'm on my phone, which I guess isn't necessarily the strongest thing for StreamYard, so I hope I'm coming through okay. But yeah, I just don't see it, Joey. I don't see a gear. Let me press on more and see if there's a gear. Yep. Nope. There's the camera. I turned it off. Now it's back on. And there's a little red camera there. Stop using camera. I don't want to stop using camera. I figured this out last time, but I think I was on my iPad. Gosh, maybe this isn't going to work tonight. Bear with me, guys. At least I've been, streaming long enough that this isn't making me a nervous wreck. Ah, got it. Oh, that little icon thing, that little gear thing, Joey, is um, quite hidden. But anyway, here we are. So this is what I'm going to use tonight to build this grid. So this is one of those etched, this is a huge one. This is one of those etched balsa wood, beautiful grid foundations. And here's the reason why I really like using these, because then you can pick your grid up and move it if you need to. You do not need this type of thing to build a grid, guys. You can build a grid on a handkerchief, on a kerchief, on a photograph you love. You can build it on a placemat. You can build it on a piece of furniture. It does. You do not necessarily need this, but I enjoy these because then you can pick the grid up and move it if you do need to, which is good. So now I can't see the chat. I'm going to push a button here. Oh, got it. Okay. Okay. I'm learning this. So this is what I've chosen for this grid, this big one. And then I set the grid, I put the grid together over here so you can sort of see where I'm going with it. See how there's a lot of crystals in there. And again, you can build a grid with just very few crystals with your intention. So again, set your intention, find some clarity, write it down, maybe put it under your grid so that you have some, the intention sitting there. And then as we build this grid, we're going to hold the intention of peace and tranquility. So you can intention the peace and tranquility for yourself, for your family, for your home, for your workplace, for the world, for Ukraine, however you want to define the energy of this grid is perfectly wide open for you to set any intention that you choose. So my anchor piece, my centerpiece, I chose a piece of ametrine because, of course, amethyst, tranquility, peace, and serenity. And at the end of the day, this was the only piece of amethyst that went on the grid because I sort of intuit as I go. But I wanted ametrine because of the citrine composition, because that's good for manifestation. I love putting points in the middle of grids, but you can use a sphere, you can use a pyramid, which I often use. That's really one of my favorite things to use in the center of grids. So we're going to set that down, and my intention is to build a grid for peace and tranquility to lift all of you up. So that's my intention for this grid, peace and tranquility for all of you and to lift you up. So there's my centerpiece. Then, secondly, I asked Spirit what should be next on this grid. And curiously, it turned out to be kyanite, 6 blades of kyanite. Which in a way isn't surprising because the blue kyanite, first of all, never needs to be cleared. It's one of those high vibration crystals that does not need clearing. It's incredibly spiritual, holds the space, it clears the chakras, it kind of aligns all the chakras. So basically, to put this in layman's terms, basically what this is doing is clarifying the beginning of this grid. It's clarifying it, it's simplifying it. Now we have an ametrine for peace and prosperity and manifestation, and we're moving it through this kyanite, which is going to cleanse everything. Sorry, drinking tea. So then I decided to add some selenite, those little mini selenite logs that we have. These are like 4-inch. And again, like the kyanite, the selenite is high vibration. It will clear and cleanse anything around it. So now we're sort of purifying the intention here. And this happens to be a 6-spoke wheel. Sometimes I just do the 4 corners the 4 directions with a pyramid. But in this case, there are 6.6 faces on the points. So I chose to do 6 of these. The thing to remember here, guys, is there is no right or wrong, honestly. You can read 100 books. I brought one of my books to show you. This is one of our great selling books for building crystal grids. Philip Perma, they're on our website. We also have Judy Hall, we have Mason, we have quite a few books. And I haven't read any of them, got to tell you the truth, because I don't want it to interfere with my pure intuition in doing this. But they're great guidelines. So now I want to calm things down. So I decided to use Lepidolite. Am I close enough here? I guess I can't, on StreamYard, I guess I can't zoom, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. So now I'm anchoring the kyanite with some Lepidolite tumble stones. Lepidolite, of course, is one of those incredibly calming crystals. Whoops. Again, peace, tranquility, helps with any anxiety or depression, any mood swings. So for those of you who can feel energy, I'm hoping you're beginning to feel this grid begin to flow and to feel the energy start to build here. It's very gentle because it is a grid for peace. So there's nothing in there yet that is going to, it's just smooth. It's very smooth. It's not anchored yet. So I looked this all over and I ended up putting carnelian little, mini carnelian hearts at the tips of the selenite because I thought, we're in such turmoil. The carnelian is a great motivator for creative energy and helps with grief because of the motivation factor. So I thought, well, maybe I'll put some carnelian in here to help keep us active in choosing peace and serenity. So I put the hearts in, but it didn't feel right. So this is what I'm talking about when you're building grids. You gotta feel. They don't all have, great question, Liz. They don't all have to be the same. No. I just I like that kind of order. So I always do it like that. But no, I've seen grids made where there's a different tumble stone on every single spoke. So like I said, there's no rules here, guys. No rules at all. It's just kind of I just wanted to show you kind of how I do it. Everybody does it differently. So then I looked this whole thing over and I said, well, I want some movement here. We've got the spokes going, the energy is starting to flow, but where is it going and what is it doing? So then I thought, well, one of my favorite calming stones is ocean jasper. It's very effective for, again, peace and calming, staying with the flow. One of the pieces to remember about serenity and peace is being in the moment. So if you can stay with the flow, then you will more likely be able to stay in the moment and live that peaceful ocean jasper flow. So I placed these at the tips of the selenite. Yeah, Elizabeth, I do too. And it's just me, but I've seen them made every which way you could imagine. So again, one of the things that I always tell people is there's no right or wrong. There are ideas. People write books and give you ideas and let you know, like I'm doing tonight, this is how I make them. And it doesn't mean that's the way you need to make them. And that's one of the things that I really love teaching is follow your intuition. I put those carnelian hearts down and I was like, it sounded like a really great idea in my head. But when I felt the energy, it was too much. It was almost like a contradiction. like, okay, I'm smoothing everything out, but then I'm grabbing this creative energy, which is starting to build the grid up energetically in a way that didn't seem congruent with what I wanted to achieve. So I pulled them out. So then I looked this all over, and I was like, okay, this is a grid you can put in your bedroom. Like, you could put this in your bedroom and you could sleep and have really beautiful, restful sleep, and holding that intention of world peace, inner peace, peace for your family, peace all the way around. But I thought, we got to anchor this. It has to be anchored. So if we're building a grid that is promoting peace and serenity, one of the ways that we're going to get there, I think, is by reflecting internally. So everything, all of your intentions reflect internally. So what did I have on hand that was small that I could do that with? And, I love obsidian for that. So I had these little baby obsidian points. So I put them in between. These are just little baby obsidian points. And I had them lying down. And then I decided I really liked them standing up. So I stood them up. And the reason I liked them standing up was because it began to pull this energy up, pulls it up into the room. So the black obsidian is an internally reflective crystal. You're going to do some inner work. It's going to bring up any of that stuff that you need to shed off so that you can find, remember your divinity, remember that you are divine perfection. And so it's going to help you identify that and clear it. I don't really have this even, but so speaking of divinity, I thought to remind us of that and to work with that energy, I'm going to use Damborite, because Damborite is the love stone that connects with the divine. So I put this in here, and I put it like this. These are little bitty tiny points, just little pieces. And I just put it in between. And for those of you who are here who can feel energy, I'm hoping that you can feel the way that shifted the direction of the energy on this grid. It started to spin a little bit. You've got these points up, then you've got these kind of sideways. And this is all about remembering your divinity, connecting with the divine, remembering who you are, and holding that space of peace. And I feel like I can take a deeper breath already with this grid. But I looked it all over. I was like, wow, this is cool. And it's pumping, but it's not grounded. And I'm one, I don't know if other people feel this way about their grids, but I like to ground it so that it's anchored as it's working for me. So I ended up adding Smoky Quartz. Those of you who, I just dropped one, so it's not going to be on the grid, but you'll get the idea. I love Smoky Quartz, and I love Smoky Quartz because it is so gentle. It refuses to allow any negativity to be present. It transmutes negative energy into positive. So there's a difference between transmuting energy and releasing energy. And Smoky Quartz is one that transmutes it. These are not even on here, guys. But now we've anchored this grid. So holding your intention as you go, you've built your grid, and now you need to activate that grid. So you want it in a place in your house where, sorry, I was trying to squeeze that thing on. You want it in a place in your house where you can pay attention to it, where maybe you're going to walk by it every day, pause, reflect on it every day. This is an active energy wheel at this point. And so you want to make sure that you are holding the intention and that these crystals are now working for you, and you want to give back to the crystals by acknowledging what you have asked for. So that's why the intention is so important to be clear. And then to activate it, you can use any size laser wand. If you don't have a laser wand, you can use a little point. Laser wands have a slight curve. And you're going to hold, you can't see me because the camera's backwards, but I'm going to put this on my heart and breathe into it. And then I'm going to place it on my third eye. And I'm going to touch that to the tip of this crystal. And I'm going to ask this grid to please, you can use your own words. I'm just going to make something up as I go. Please generate peace and tranquility through the active crystals in this grid and out to all of the people that are in need of this with no limitations and without crossing boundaries. Those who are open and who are in need and who can use this energy without me forcing it. Because I remember I'm doing this for the public. So I don't want to just spread this energy anywhere, because it's not my right to impose this energy on someone who didn't ask for it. So we always ask for something like this. I always ask for my higher self and the divine to kind of shake hands and send it out to those who are open to receive it and need it. And now that grid is active. So, and because it's on this, I can pick it up and move it around my house if I need to. That's why I like building it on something. It doesn't need to be on this this type of thing. It can be on anything, but I do like something stiff so that I can pick it up and move it if I choose. You want to, um, feed that intention, continue feeding the intention of the grid. You can leave this active. This grid will stay active until I tell it to stop. And the way I would deactivate it is I would go through the same process backwards. So I would touch my heart and my third eye and touch the center piece and thank it for all that it has given me. And then tell it that we're done. We've done our job. Thank you. We're going to take this grid down. And then I take it apart the same way I put the way I put it together. So the last out is first. The last placed is first out. So I would be picking up the Smoky Quartz, and then I would be picking up the Ocean Jasper. So if you have kind of an extensive grid like this, you might want to write down how you built it. It's a respect thing. It's not, again, you can't get it wrong. It's just the way I learned to do it. And so you take it out piece by piece, then cleanse them. You can cleanse your crystals. And you should probably sage this, depending on what you're using it for and who's involved. You might want to sage it every day, or you might want to sage it once a week. But you want to make sure that you keep the energy clear and bright. So when you take it apart, the great thing is that you can reuse the crystals because you've cleansed them, you've deactivated them in this formation, and now you can use those crystals for anything else that you would like to use it for. So I'm going to see I'm not seeing any comments. Does anybody have any questions? Because what I'd like to do, if you don't need to look at this anymore, is try to flip the camera back over and answer questions, or we can leave it here so that you can see it as we're talking. So, we only have a few people here, so, and two of them are sisters, so, so there may not be any questions. Oh, that sweetgrass didn't go out. You guys know that sage and sweetgrass and anything you're smudging with will burn to the extent that you need it to. So it's still going. It still wants to burn. Oh, thank you, Joey. I'm going to see if I can flip this back. I can't remember how I did it. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try again, because I think it was in more settings, camera. Oh, I found it, Joey. I found it. Look at our bin. Those are the bins when you guys buy in our live shows. Those are your bins that have your names when you purchase in the live show. All right, now I got to see if I can see the chat. There we are. Liz, no, just kind of intend that it's still functioning. You can put them back if you want to. It's, I probably step on toes when I say that there isn't any right or wrong. I probably step on a lot of toes with that. But the thing that I've understood in almost 30 years in this world is that your intention is 90% of the gig. So if your heart is in the right place and your intention is in the right place, then you're good. I think we get our pedantic minds, get really involved in trying to do things just right and worrying that, oh my God, is spirit, am I okay? Did I insult spirit? No, can't be done. You're not going to insult spirit. Just hold that intention in your heart and everything's okay. The crystals are, again, I'm in business. I have to pay rent. So God knows I got to sell some rocks, right? But the truth is, we really don't need these. We are creatures that love tangible things around us. And we feel the energy and it makes us feel good, or it helps us grow. But do we actually need it? No, because we are already divine. We're already perfection. We came in with perfection. So if we arrived as a perfect being, dressing our soul, if you will, the soul compresses and comes in with us. We're already divine. We're already perfect. We already know all this. There isn't a thing we don't already know if we can tap into it. The crystals help us do that. Like many things, a lot of people just like beautiful things around them because it makes them feel good. So, but we are people, we are a tribe that likes to tangible things. We like things to see and to connect to. So, that's one of the reasons this is so helpful. All right. Any questions? Well, Liz, and there are a couple people here. Thanks so much, for coming in. I just wanted to, do a quick, I just want to start doing some videos like this to share, my take on things with a little bit more time than I can take when we're doing the live show sales, because, we just have a lot of ground to cover on those days. So. Is that it? Any questions? Any comments? You can ask me about anything. It doesn't have to be about grids. I'm here. I can stick around, a few more minutes. Somebody else just came in, so. But you can rewatch this, of course. It will stay up. And I'm going to start trying to do more of these. as time goes by, so that we've got, you know, a YouTube chain of videos and people can, you know, watch if it's something interesting. All right, is that it? All right, you guys, then I'm out of here. And and well, there aren't many of you here, but we did an April Fool's Day post on Instagram and Facebook today, and said, geez, if you come in the store and mention this, we'll give you 10% off. And so I made a coupon code for the website too, because so many of our buyers are not local. So through tomorrow at close, hi Donna. So through tomorrow at close, there's a 10% coupon for the website. Um, excuse me. Tomorrow at close, the 10% in the store ends. So 10% off the entire store through tomorrow closing. The website, because, you know, we've got a 3-hour time difference, the website code will stay active until midnight tomorrow night. That's 10% off. And I posted that code on Facebook, but it's full, all caps, I think, full space me space one, April 1st, full space me space one, full me one, is the coupon code. So if you want to go to the website. All right, you guys, thanks so much. It was fun. It was fun. I think we did it. Did anybody feel the energy of that grid building? I'm just curious if anybody, you know, could feel that through the stream. A lot of people can feel it, feel the energy of the crystals even on the live shows. So just curious. All right, my loves. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.